Hello everyone, Switch here. For the past few days, when I haven't been able to haven't been comment or answered some of my comments on my channel for the past few days, it is because of that I haven't been felt well lately. It's most because of that I had this very painful headaches for the past 2-3 days, and that is also where another thing that has just happened though is that during this past 2-3 days, it has been a bit hotter than normal here for the past those few days. And when it's getting hotter, it is makes me almost sometimes lack of sleep. Sometimes I can barely sleep at all during the night when it's just hot. Even though I try, trust me, it isn't sometimes that easy to sleep when it's getting hotter in your own bedroom. Even if you have a fan on the floor, the open window, trust me, sometimes it doesn't even get better. But that is all has passed for now, though. I have heard some news that it's going to be a little bit more unstable weather. Sorry about that. More about rain, for example, which I am just glad for to be a bit so that people will be a bit cooler. But at the same time, as I the ground get absorbed under much rain as possible. Since it has been dry lately for the past few days, the ground needs some water. Yeah, especially the grass, trees, anything. But anyways though, I haven't been worked on much stories for lately, except I have found a few potential stories and I had even been given some potential stories to my by my girlfriend on my email. So I have around almost 500 stories there potentially. So give or take that, and over the stories I have planned, and those requests I have. Boy, the list goes on. But anyways, I have been working on a few stories though, and I can also inform that Discord's Secret Daughter project is almost complete. It is just one more chapter to be finished to work on. So there will be only 8 chapters in this story. And for otherwise, I had even been worked on another story called Tempest Time Warp. And you may ask, what about that? Well, the only thing I can tell you that is that Tempest is sent into the future, far into the future, by accident. Twilight had just found some ancient spell of some sort of teleportation spell, but she believes it's a teleportation spell. But in fact, it is a spell of time travel. But this one is not made by Starsworld. In fact, is made by Celestia and Luna's own father. That is all I can say about that. And you may ask how far in the future she travels? Top secret. You will have to find out when the story is uploaded. And the second is story I also have been worked on is when Celestia wants to learn how to bake. So she went to see Pinky, who became her teacher. And the story from that is sweet royalty, uh, sweet testing of royalty. I used to remember the title, but there's something like that. And that particular story is just a short one. Tempest Time Warp, well, I can tell. It is about 12 pages of paper I have wrote. Yeah, you heard me right. 12 pages. Normal stories I wrote is can sometimes been from 5 to 7, or this girl's secret daughter can take from 14 to maybe 15 pages. And trust me, it is a lot of work. It is. Another few stories that I had in mind that I have been recently considered to do is um well, since I have two folders on my computer, on my screen, where I have at least more than a dozen stories that I have found to be. Normally, I had used to thought maybe you doing all of them as audio, but in fact, I decided to change that. This stories is going to be on my separate list, but they will be both with text and music and audio. And for the past, those stories I have thought in mind is actually I can only reveal only a few names. Sideway and microships. And the other stories is I have in mind is Daisy, Gloria Daisy, or Timbers Brown's sister with another particular female. But I want to say who, but I can say it is someone has been seen in one of the Christian movies. That is all I can say. Over the past of other stories I had in mind is also a Question Girls story and another Mellow Pony series, but or show or story, sorry. But it is that is all I can say for now, though, because there are so many I want to take care of. Believe me, and even with all the stories that I had found, and there's still potentials to be a lot more. And since I mostly will be focused on Discord's secret daughter, I can even reveal the name of the secret, the chapter 7 is going to be an excited, chaotic surprise. That is chapter 7. And since chapter 8 will be the final in the series. The only thing I can tell about chapter 8 is going to take place 5 years after chapter 7. Yeah, and during this time, Twilight had been married with her fiance Star Tracker, and Discord and Luna has two kids. Raven Knight, their first daughter, which they found in the back of chapter 2. And the second one is a son, which they had back in chapter 7. And his name is Skybolt. That is all I can say for now about that particular series. And since the first series I made, A Fire Love, when I was posted on a Saturday, this one probably will be uploaded either on a Friday or a Saturday. I have not decided yet, but each chapter will be around 20 minutes long because even if this even if the story itself per chapters per only like 1 page long each, it will not have been less than what 10 seconds or maybe less than a minute long. So I decided to make every single chapter around 20 minutes long at least. I just wanted to make sure that people are liked my stories, which many do. But there are a lot of many stories that I had in mind. Someone had been put on post hold for quite some time, but there has been a few others that I had figured out maybe to do. One, actually, I can reveal is that I have a future potential story about a Pokemon story. But it is all I can tell is about Ash Ketchum while he was growing up. Or at least something like that, since I haven't even figured out much about the storyline for that. But it's going to be about Ash, at least. But it probably takes some time before he started traveling around with his friends. So, if I would say around his age, probably like 8, 9 or so, but who knows? I haven't even decided yet. But there are still many other potential stories that I have found over the past few weeks, the past few months, and believe me, it is A lot of them. Oh boy. I mean, there are even a few stories that had been removed for some rights, which I don't even understand. One of those was actually Lofty and Holiday. I mean, I used a fan made pictures of them together, which to me it was really surprised that that story was had to be flagged as a copyright. So I saved a copy of the show of the video and found another fan made pictures that I would use. Unfortunately, that will take a little bit of time since I have put that to the side just for a moment. I had so many stories to take care of. I mean, with all the people's requests and the stories I found, oh wow, there is a lot, a lot. It is. Sometimes people say I'm are taking too much projects on in a hand before I even start working next one. Yeah, they might to say right, you're right on that. I mean, I can work on one project and then start working on the next one and probably a third one almost at the same time. And that can actually overwhelm me a bit, yes. So when I work on like 2 to 3 projects at almost the same time, I put one store of the projects to the side, so I can work on one and probably then the second one, and then go back to the third one. There is a lot of these stores that I have made over the years, and believe me, I am so grateful that many have liked my stories over the past few weeks, the past few years. But even after all of this, I am so overwhelmed. I am so overwhelmed about the stories that you have asked me to do. Not that saying that I never would have done them. No, it's just that it just overwhelmed me how many people had asked me about their particular stories. I know I had mentioned this particular part a few times before, but when I first started my channel, the latest stories, there was only be going to be made about the main six and a few backgrounds. But after some people had actually had asked me if I could do their stories, and sure I did, and the request came on and on and on. And this was just whoosh, a mind blowing moment. And if you had actually noticed in one of my recent longest one I have made, one of the longest, Luna and Peepsqueak, when Luna said, and that she actually said the comment that she said something that what she was planning to say, and this and text was just on the side a little bit. It's like on the side. That was actually something new I wanted to try. I wanted to try something new. And even since when I first started my channel, my stories, there was a lot of bad grammars, which I am perfectly understanding. But after all of this, after nearly 5 years of doing online stories, believe me, a lot have changed. I have stopped using Google Translate to translate my stories in text. For now, I'm actually writing on my own hand. I mean, sure, my my speaking English is almost better, but the writing one back then wasn't even as perfect as it is now. Believe me, it is a lot. It is how much I improved I have. Though there are still some grammars that I might have still to work on, but still getting there. There is a lot of much more of the stories I have worked on the past few weeks, the past few months. I have found like Tempest Time Warp, and there are actually a few others I have worked on the past few months of almost a year, like Discord's Family Reunion. I had put that aside for quite some time, and Sakura's Past, and there is a lot more stories that I haven't even worked on. There is so much. I mean, believe me, it is so many stories I have found and I want to do. But there is potential of that it can take time. I do still have a few stories that I had to remake, which hasn't I haven't considered to do yet. Well, I had considered, but I just never had time, or at least, or I was focused on something else. There were actually someone had asked me if I could do Luna and Celestia as a love story, but that goes the line. Since Luna and Pipsqueak were a very huge age gap between them. Like Luna was 1,000 years and Pipsqueak was in his 12, 13 when he was youngest. But at the same time, asking me to make a story from like between someone who is related, like siblings, that is the line that I will never cross. Even this seems tempted, but I could never do that. No. From my perspective, it just feels wrong. I mean, it is kind of wrong, but I could actually do another potential as another instead as a true love story between siblings. I can actually be doing like a true friend story. Even the word siblings, but I can act instead of a love story, I can do a true friend. That is different. And that is something I can do. But it's just there are some lines that I won't even cross. Like siblings or a parent with his own child or a kid. That is one of the things that I can never cross. Or like example, if someone had asked me to do Braybird and Applejack, which is still considered and still related, which I can never do. So if people still had wanted to ask me if I can do some related stories like Braybird with Apple Bloom or Big Mac with Braybird, that is one of the few things that I can never consider to do as a true love story. But if you want me to do as a true friend story between someone who's related, then that door is quite open for suggestions and for opportunities, but not as true love. No, it wouldn't see much as right for that. I mean, it isn't right to be asking for me to do so. Anyways, a lot of things have changed. I haven't been felt wildlife for the past few days, but I'm back to work as my stores now, and there will be a few other videos uploaded on my channel within the next couple of weeks. One is going to be like with top 10 dads for Father's Day, and one is going to be like with top 10 aliens, consider it from that. But that is a lot more about that. And I have to say, Father's Day is when it is in United States and is on June 21st. We don't celebrate Father's Day in June here. We celebrate it back in November. Yeah, you heard me right. It's very differently. Even though all the things had been changed, a lot of things has been happening, particularly though with the corona has taken place, with the quarantine for many people, families are not allowed to get outside. Many states in the United States are in lockdown. But I can just say, Sweden is not in a lockdown. No, even the borders is closed, but the counties are around in the nation is not in a lockdown. No, but it is in traveling with inside the country itself has been kind of a little bit forbidden at the moment. At least to try to at least contain the virus. But otherwise, many people will probably ask, what do you have for plans for the summer? Any travels? Nah, not much. I mean, particularly for this summer with this corona going on, probably unlikely. Me and my parents were planning to do some cruise sometime this summer to go to Finland, but no, it is very unlikely that would happen. So, and even if I did actually have some plans to go see my girlfriend back in the United States this summer, is not gonna happen for two reasons. One, the coronavirus, and two, my parents. Yeah, my parents will not let me go, even though even I am basically an adult, but who knows? But anyways, that are things I can't go through. Even if I did, even the corona didn't happen, I would still not be allowed to go because I need a lot of money. Trust me, I was told I almost needed at least 50,000 for it is for a budget, and I don't say I still had a long way to go for even to reach that particular goal. So I will do anything as possible I can do to reach that. Save up the money, probably just basically I can do. But that is all I can do for now. So, anyways, I will be working on the love stories and true friend stories for at least several days now to try to reach out this to maintain the list I have. Believe me, there is a lot of stories to take care of. And I can even mention though, every summer I take from 1 to maybe 2 weeks of vacation from stories. And I might do the same, but this summer I might still work on a few love stories or true friend stories, even on my vacation. Probably just to make sure that my list is full of stories that we uploaded so I have not had to worry. So that's all I want to mention in this video for now though. And but yeah, I am back to health, and the last stories, True Friend Stories, is back in business. And for most of all, keep yourselves all safe. And remember, social distance and avoid large gatherings in make sure. And also has been still at school but had to be at home studying. Well, see from this view, you don't have to go up and go all the way to school because you have to. You can stay at home, do your homeworks, and do some schoolwork on from online. You don't have to leave to home, so in that perspective, you're safe. But yes, like I said, keep you all safe during this crisis that's going on. Is all I can ask for. And but yeah, and once again, thanks for the 6,000 subscribers and one. It is grateful and it's a big honor. Um, all I can say is awesome, totally awesome. Thanks. And once again, stay safe. And once again, though, this is Switch Diablo over and out.